My name is Doran Ellen Beldutan, and I live in Sfat in Israel. How would you feel if you had a problem child and that problem child, as problem children are wont to do, take up with a gang of violent people that are very different than the family, have no respect for the family's values whatsoever, no honor for the family. People from families that don't have honor, barbarians. And one day a problem child comes marching into the house with his violent friends. They come in and they begin to rampage through the house and ransack it. They take everything of value that they can, everything that they can appreciate. Some of the things they don't know are valuable, so maybe they don't take those things. And then they begin to rape and murder the other children. They kill some of them they drive out of the house. And if that weren't bad enough, they then sit down in the children's chairs, put their feet on the tables or on the other pieces of furniture, look at the parents and say, "We're your children now. We're Israel." How would you feel? The problem child that I am talking about herein is not Yeshua ben Miriam. He's one of the Jews that the problem child most abused. Problem child that I'm talking about is someone who's known as Paul. His name was Shaul, but he changed it to Paul when he became an operative, because that is what the name Paul means, one who is being operated, an operative. I am of the opinion that he was working for the Pharisees all the while, and the reason why I believe that is because he goes out of his way to say that although the Pharisees don't do the right thing, their interpretation is the correct interpretation of Torah, which is a bald-faced lie. The Pharisees were run out of the house of Israel precisely because they would not keep to the line of tradition of the Holy Family. So the fact that he says that their interpretation is the correct one, very pointedly, very specifically, tells me that they are those who sent him to the Gentiles to come and ransack the house of Israel. For a long time, the elders of the house of David were so broken and so depressed and so traumatized that they didn't fight back. Earth went into a depression and allowed herself to be trampled all over because she was that broken. But things have changed. And now Earth is beginning to defend herself against the incursion. Not only is Earth defending herself against this incursion, that which generated Earth, the sun, which represents the earlier generations, the light of the earlier generations that are far more powerful than Earth, are backing Earth up and giving her power to be able to rid herself and avenge herself of having had her house ransacked, rampaged, violated, having her children killed, and then the same people that did this to her having the audacity to say, "Where is Israel now?" One of the more disgusting things that Christians say is that you are grafted into the house of Israel. I thought it was onto. It's even worse. It's into. That is something that a hookworm would say if it could speak. That is the pronunciation of a parasite, an invasive parasite. And that is how Earth is responding to you now with all of the forces of nature. And not only is Yeshua ben Miriam not coming to your rescue, he is perhaps the most abused of all of the Jews that you have abused in the house of Israel. And you have caused us to judge him based on your hearsay. I reserve judgment. I don't know what he said. I don't know what his interpretations were. I know only what your reports of what he said were. And I will not judge either favorably or unfavorably any Jew based on malicious, malevolent, abysmally ignorant Gentile reporting about what he said. There is going to be no rapture for you. You're not going anywhere. Just as earth is the highest heaven, it is also the most terrible hell, because it is the world that is most actual, most real. This is not a spiritual world. This is an actualized world. And you're not going anywhere. You're going to face the floods, and you're going to face the volcanoes, and you're going to face the fires, and you're going to face the brain-eating amoebas, and those little creatures in the water that bite your feet, and the rat infestations. The God of Israel has rallied and deployed all of the forces against you, and you're not going anywhere. There is hell to pay for having tried to arrogate the holy writings and turn them against the Jews, twist their meaning so that they seem to condemn us. You have misused what's written in the Psalms against us. You have used what's written in the prophets against us because you were not able to see the love even when they were speaking harshly to us. You didn't see the love. You just saw the surface anger. And you wanted us to believe that God had abandoned us in favor of you. I promise you there is hell to pay for that. And you're already learning that. Those who wish destruction on Jerusalem, who thought that there's anything in our holy writings that says that there will be any kind of a war against Jerusalem and the destruction of Jerusalem, that is your interpretation because you have an evil eye. And so do many of the Pharisees and their students. I promise you, you will see your own towns destroyed and ripped asunder. Everything you wished on Jerusalem is coming home to you. What you are in the process of learning, Christians, is the truth about Hasatan, which is this. Hasatan is that which was evil, but returned to God. And the service that Hasatan pays to God is the punishing of those who are evil and refuse to repent of their evil, as Hasatan did. And you are learning now, and you will continue to learn, just how sadistically inventive Hasatan can be. Thank you for listening.